So good evening, folks. We're going to let other people just come in to the meeting, and we're just going to get started. I want to call your attention to the chat box where I put a couple of things so far. We've put a couple of things so far, and we'll continue to add documents there. So the first thing that's in there is the agenda for this meeting, which if you'd like to download it, you can find it in the chat box. And then there's also a link to joining the PTSA if you haven't already done so. So how we'd like to proceed on this is if you, this is an odd thing to ask, and I'll put it in the chat. If you cannot hear this presentation, please let us know. And also please let us know if you had any technical difficulties coming to the meeting. As Stacia, who's our Vice President of Development, noted, we're going to have everyone stay mute and then put questions in the chat, and then we'll try and answer as many as we can, and if we can't, we'll put them on our IO board. So with that said, if everyone would just take a moment to review our agenda. I'm hoping that Mr. Fairley has joined us and he can make some remarks. If not, we will bring him in when he has joined. We do need to go over our financials and our budget. We had adopted a proposed budget at the end of the school year, but now we do need to do a revised and final budget. We're going to have a presentation by the College and Career Center, and then we're going to do what we usually would have in our meetings we call Passport to PTSA, where folks would kind of walk around and hear what each of the different committees that we have, what we do. And in this situation, we're just going to present straightforward presentations, and hopefully we'll have a little time for questions. And then we do have a few announcements at the end about upcoming events. So once we've had a second or two to review that, if I could get a motion to approve that agenda. And I just want to confirm, just going to look quickly, make sure that we have one of our secretaries here taking notes, looks like it. Yeah, so if someone wants to put in the chat that they've made a motion to approve, that would be great. Or you can go off mute. This is
I move to approve the budget.
No, the agenda.
Not the budget, the agenda for this meeting.
Okay, I see. Greg, will you make that a second? Because Paul Vetter has moved to approve the agenda.
I second the motion.
Okay, if there's anyone opposed, please let us know. Anyone, and otherwise all in favor. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open the participant box. And if you open your participant box, you can see yes, no, go slower, go faster. Go ahead and vote. Yes, no. I see some yeses popping in. Feel free to abstain. Excellent. Looks like the motion has motion carries. We don't have anyone opposed to it. Super. With that, I would like to turn this over to Mr. Fairley. Mr. Fairley, you're here. Would you, before I do that, actually, I should introduce myself. Oh. I'm Andrea Dooley. I'm the PTSA president. And I just want to welcome everybody here. We have probably one of the biggest groups we've ever had, which is super exciting. And I am really glad to have so many people here. One thing I want to say right out of the gate is I want to thank all of the folks who have volunteered already. We have so many, oops, I'm just gonna, here we go. We have so many folks who have already stepped up to help out and get books out the door. We do have a couple more opportunities to help this week, and I really appreciate everyone who has shown up and masked and handed out books to our families. Will be more opportunities going forward for volunteer hours, and really appreciate all the help you've given. I want to make a pitch for membership. This year we did something new, which is we have reduced the membership dues to $5 from $10 for this school year, because we really want to expand our membership and make sure it's inclusive of our entire community. And if $5 presents a difficulty for you at the time you join, it's okay. You can just skip it. You don't have to pay it. And the reason we're doing that is that so many other families have stepped up to sponsor memberships for PTSA membership. And so it's more important for us to be inclusive of our community than collect dues. The benefits of membership are that we get representation to the state and local government as an organization on behalf of children and families, and that our voices are heard in the legislature and the governor's office. Other benefits of membership are to find ways to get involved in our community. We are planning to have a spirit store where members will get a small discount for sweatshirts and t-shirts and masks and other fun stuff. We're going to get that up soon. And most of all, it just is a way to demonstrate to our community that we're all pulling together to make this a good year in a very unusual circumstance. So if you haven't joined already, please do the join for us. A membership sponsorship is different from a gift in that we did specifically ask for sponsorships for memberships. We also do need folks, if you're able to give to our annual fund campaign to help fund our many programs that support our students. So the sponsorships are directly to support other members, and we will be asking on an ongoing basis for support for our other programs. So finally, I just want to say, the focus of this year are some priorities that we already laid out in over the summer. First of all, we want to continue to look at ways to become a more equitable organization to ensure that every family in Tech feels like they are a part of our community, that they are a part of our decision making and a part of the programs that we can deploy here at Oakland Tech. The membership piece of that is a very small component of that, and you'll hear about other ways that we're trying to expand to ensure that all the families in our community are included. And then obviously another area that we're going to be focusing on is resilience in distance learning and in COVID. How are we going to connect as a community when this is the closest we can get to each other, and this is the closest our kids can get to each other right now? So we're going to be trying to think creatively about that, creatively about how we connect as a community, and really want your best ideas about it, because more than ever, I think we feel like we need a connection to one another. So with that said, I'm really pleased and excited to introduce our new principal, who has been probably working 24/7 to acclimate to this already insane job in an already insane time. And so Mr. Fairley is a former AP, assistant principal at Oakland Tech, and I know that a lot of people are pretty excited that we have someone who's already from within our community, and I am very excited that we have someone who already knows us and who everyone already knows. So with that, I'm going to ask Mr. Fairley to take off his mute and say hi, and if everyone else could, I'm gonna mute everybody else, and then Mr. Fairley, you can unmute yourself. That would be
There we go.
awesome.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out or logging on, or however we talk about things in this new reality. It's great to see those 25 of you who are on my screen right now. And as I scroll through, I'm sure that I'll be able to see many more of you. I wish that I could connect. The thing that on day one, I realized what I'm going to miss most is just walking down the hallways and poking into classrooms and saying hi to people. That will come. That will come. We'll be prepared for it when that time gets here. But we've been doing a lot of work in cooperation with a lot of volunteers from your organization to help us get off the ground. I want to echo Andrea's thanks to our volunteers. We distributed a lot of textbooks, and we have a plan for exchanging some textbooks because there have been some class adjustments and other things going on. So we're doing our best to stay on top of that as well. Thank you to those of you who took the time to give a shout out to Rosemary, her team, and the others who were handing out those books. We've been trying to get online registration at Oakland Tech for at least 8 years. Sorry that it took this circumstance to make it happen, but we have something that I think we can build on in the future as well. So thanks you for sticking with it if you've been a supporter of online registration, and welcome to those of you who are new to tech. We really do our best to stay on top of things. Along with the textbooks, we handed out over 350 Chromebooks so far and about 200 hotspots. It's really a high priority for us this year going into the year that we make sure that we have real strong contact with every student who's enrolled in the school. We need to make sure that all of our students are finding that connection, developing that rapport with their teachers, with the other students who are in the class, zooming in together. And also, I'll say just a little bit about what the morning looks like compared to what the afternoon looks like, but that is still being developed. We still have a lot of very talented people working on that as to have something that will work well for Oakland Tech and our students here. We have a tentative agreement with between the district and OEA that's going to guide us. It's a very long document. A few of us have been able to digest all of it, but I'll be sharing out the high points of that as we get closer to the weekend. OEA is voting on that agreement, considering ratification Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. So we expect to have more information about whether it's been ratified or not by the weekend. I will have a definite plan for our students despite whether the MOU is ratified or not. So I'll have that out hopefully on Friday so that you can know how to plan for next week. But that's still kind of under development right now. Just a brief introduction about myself. I've been around Oakland Tech for a lot of years. When I started at Oakland Tech, I was impressed by the number of veteran teachers who were here. I don't know if anyone here is still familiar with Madeline Pyatt, Patricia Clark, David DeLeau, just some really, really strong teachers who had made a commitment to the school. And then I found out that I was making the same sort of commitment. So I've been here quite a while. I think you've heard my voice come out over the robocalls from time to time. So that's me. This is what I look like. And what I'm hoping to do is continue on in the strength of the programs that Oakland Tech has had, really increase our level of concern for equity, especially in this moment when we have students who are already in different family situations, but with the COVID situation and the pressures that that's put on families, really wanting to respond in new ways to help support students when they're not in the school building. We can't wrap our arms around them right now, but we want to still continue to provide supports. And that's going to be an important part of our outreach, not only to students, but also to teachers, to make sure that they have the skills to help develop that rapport, help make those connections, and keep the students engaged. I've been a teacher in the math department, the science department. I've taught AP classes and been an assistant principal for a number of years, I think 7. And also was a teacher on special assignment, working with the budget, the WASC accreditation, other things. So I'm familiar with a lot of the school programs, but this summer has been a real learning experience for me. I will share that learning with you as parents and families of our students and scholars. And right now, I've been consumed with all the logistics of getting started. So I appreciate your patience. I appreciate that you have a listserv that you can share with each other and help listen to concerns that are made. Through the bullhorn, I try to respond to those, and I really appreciate hearing the concerns of the families. I was going to say something about the schedule. I'll try to update the website and the bullhorn to say more about that. What the district is calling, or what the state actually is calling, synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Those two words grate on the ears of some people I know. So synchronous is the face-to-face Zoom kind of learning that the students are experiencing. The asynchronous means the opposite of that, but it's not really opposite. It's still learning experiences for students that they can do without being in a face-to-face meeting with the teacher. Sometimes there will be small groups the teacher brings together after lunch. Sometimes it will be video lessons. Other times it will be problem solving and reading assignments and writing assignments that can be done outside the off camera, out from in front of the teacher. What I would like to, though, because my time here is so short, is to let you know that I want to have at least 2 office hours for parents to drop in each week. This week I can be available on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m., although I know those are probably not convenient times, and I'm going to ask the PTSA to help me with a survey just to find out what times are more convenient for that. So that will be some time when you can really bend my ear and get some information from me by dropping into an office hour. Wednesday and Friday, 10 a.m. at this point. I will be sending out information also about our school site council. At Oakland Tech, we call it a collaborative school site council. It's a little larger than some, but we do value the leadership that school site council provides, and I'll be sending out more information about it. The school site council is the body that makes decisions about our Title I funds, other restricted funds that the school receives, and as well as providing input and guidance on the overall school program based on data that we collect and provide at the meetings. So I'll be checking in with the current school site council members, and then we will be scheduling elections so that we can bring on new members as well. It's made up of parents, a community member who could also be a parent, students, teachers, and classified staff or non-teaching staff. So we have a good representative body that meets every month. Gosh, Andrea, I guess I have to turn it back over to you. I've enjoyed this time, and I look forward to meeting a lot of you during office hours. But I think I should, I know there have been things in the chat. I'm not talented enough to watch chat and talk at the same time, so I really rely on that. But if you could email those to me as well, I think that would be probably the best way to respond to those.
So thank you so much for your letting us know what the coming weeks are going to look like, and we will make sure we get you any help you need on the drop-in times, and we'll for the folks who are asking about it, we'll get that information out very broadly after the meeting. And I would also just say you don't have to worry about capturing the questions. We do have an executive board member who's several who are watching the chat, answering questions that we can answer, and then capturing the questions that we can't. So if you don't hear your answer here, please don't worry. We are trying to capture those and make sure that you get those to be answered either at the office hours, or we can write something, we can put something up on our IO group. So I really appreciate your presentation, Mr. Fairley. We're all really excited to have a steady hand at the helm, the tiller. I don't know what the metaphor is, but we're at the helm. We're glad you're here.
Trust me,
And oh, maybe you sail. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna the next thing on our agenda is our budget and financials. For reasons related to state PTA rules, we're not allowed to publicize those. So I'm gonna pause our recording and turn the meeting over to Greg Kaliva, who is our treasurer, to talk a little more about our budget and our expenses so far this year.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. My name is Elizabeth Faulkner. I'm a parent of an alum and I guess not rising now, she's just a plain old junior grader. And I'm the chair of the College Mentoring Committee, and that's a PTSA committee. You'll hear me shilling later if you'd like to join us. We are very busy this year. And so I just put a presentation here. I'm going to follow along with Miss Hunter. She is our absolutely fantastic college readiness specialist at Oakland Tech. Normally she's running around spending her day talking to kids or ruling the roost down at the College and Career Center, which I hope anyone who hasn't been down there yet will have a chance to come visit. So I'm going to turn it over to her in a sec, but basically just say that this is a presentation that normally is a little bit longer, and we do it at back to school night. We usually have a little happy hour, non-alcoholic, but we invite people to come see the space, meet all of our staff and our college access partners. So hopefully sometime when we're on site, we will still invite everyone down. So this is just kind of a pared down version of the presentation. And so I'm going to introduce and hand it over to Miss Hunter. So take it away.
Thank you. So hi, I am Miss Hunter. I'm the College Readiness Specialist. So I run the College and Career Center. I used to be the ACT coordinator. I don't know what that's going to look like anymore. So I do help students with that. We also do the community college transfer. We are a community school. So with that being said, students can access the College and Career Center even post-graduation. So we do help with the transfer from 2-year to 4-year trade programs and stuff like that. So basically, who are we and what we do? We're just like a really large team of people who just come together and support students in any post-secondary option or any transitions from grade to grade. So I help with a lot of things. I'm happy this is being recorded and posted on the website because a lot of people will go, oh, you just do college. And yes and no, there's a lot of pieces. I used to be the College and Career Readiness Specialist, so I had both positions, work-based learning liaison and the College Readiness Specialist together. So we now have 2 separate positions, me and Mr. Holiday. He is my better half. He does all the internships. He does all of the advising on like resumes, career building, trades and stuff like that. So we do partner a lot. So Mr. Holiday really just literally takes over that piece. It's so nice to have like a right-hand man on that aspect. So we are one of the same in a way. So if you come to Mr. Holiday for some, you can totally come to me for it. He just really is the know-how for everything. So like your work permits and everything like that. So, but yeah. So we have a program called EAOP, which is Early Academic Outreach Program. It's ran by UC Berkeley. And basically there's a young fellow and they do a lot of college advising. So they're normally near peer. So they're young in age so they can relate to the student, and they're fresh out of college so they understand the process. We used to have Marvin. He was amazing. Unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, I mean, I miss him, but he is off to Harvard. He is getting his master's in higher education. So we're really happy, and we hope he does come back to help us. We will have a new advisor this year. Not too sure who that's going to be. They're finishing up interviews and stuff like that, but they will have a cohort. They have a large cohort. So they take about 50 of each grade, and they work with one-on-one advising when it comes to ninth grade transition, picking a pathway, possibly a major early on, graduating early if that's like in someone's interest and stuff like that. So another one is Trio. Trio is very similar to EAOP, but it is more so on the talent search part. They're trying to find the students who have this knack for something, and they want to kind of amplify that and get them into a 4-year program really good. If you're in EAOP or Trio, you have high chances of getting into UC Berkeley. So I know it is an impacted program, but they do outside cohort advising. So if you're worried about that, please do come see us. And there's an Upward Bound program, which is that is Ron, who is Trio, and there's Hazel, who is the Upward Bound. So both of them work very close together. So if you're in one and not the other, it doesn't necessarily matter. But both of them have 2 different summer programs. So 10th graders can start going to UC Berkeley over the summer. Not sure how that'll look anymore with COVID, but in the summer they can get college courses. So we also have a similar program at Mills. These 2 advisors, they're not on campus as often as the other 2. So they come 1 to 2 days a week, and that is Lena and Maggie. So they do a lot of their stuff on the actual Mills campus. So they will actually bring the kids to the campus, meet after the school day. I mean, with this, I'm sure it's all gonna be digital. So they do all of that. Maggie's amazing. She has a smaller cohort, and so does Lena. But they're really amazing programs. Your students do not have to go to Mills. So they do take, because Mills is an all-woman school for the undergrad, they take men, women, all ages, all groups and stuff like that. They actually start in the middle school range. So if you have a student that was in the middle school one, they should still be in the high school cohort as well. So you can look into that with myself.
Okay, I think I agreed to do this series of slides. So basically, the College and Career Center puts together a whole host of programs. So there's things that are happening during the day all the time, and Ms. Hunter just mentioned the staff that's there to support that. But we also do a number of family programs, which means it's for the students and the parents. We really want to help educate the whole family on the process and not just leave it entirely to the student. Yes, we want them to be self-directed, but it is a really complicated process. And once you get into financial aid, they need your information anyway. So, we work, I'm the College Mentoring Committee. We work with the College and Career Center, and in the fall, we have a series of events that is specifically for 12th graders. So normally we would be in the auditorium and have all sorts of flyers and things they hand out. So we're moving to a digital format. So our big announcement, we're just starting to get this out because we're getting everything put together. But Road to College 1 is next week. It's a week from tonight. So if you are a 12th grade parent, just know that your student will be hearing about it through advisory. We'll be getting the link to the Zoom webinar to their school, their OUSD email. These kids are gonna have to learn how to use email, and they'll need that anyway at the end of the year when they are hearing from colleges. So this is Road to College 1 is kind of Ms. Hunter and Ms. Martinez's comprehensive overview of the college application process. So they talk about state schools, HBCUs, private colleges, community colleges. We talk about a hot topic right now is SAT and ACT and what that's going to mean for, some of these kids were impacted at the end of last year. Letters of recommendation, costs, etc. So that is a really important one to come to learn about kind of all the basics for kicking off the application process. We will be recording these and posting them to the website. So if you are the parent of a 9th, 10th, 11th grader, I'm sure you're like me and you're gonna want this information. I sure did. So we're gonna have that available to you online later on. I'm going to go to Road to College 2. What we're going to do this year is split it into 2 events because it's just so much to try to cover online. And so we have scheduled the dates. The second one is kind of tentative, but Tuesday, September 22nd and Tuesday, September 29th, we're going to go into detail with the students about their college essays. So Yancey Davis was a guest speaker we brought in last year. He was fantastic. He went into detail about the personal statement that kids will need to do for the Common application. I think for the Black Common App, they also do a personal statement. A lot of colleges request this. Then the following week, or we might switch these two, but the dates hopefully are firm, we'll have a guest speaker. Last year, Ricardo came from Cal and really gave us a ton of great information, not just about the University of California personal insight questions. You'll hear the term PIQ, but he just gave a whole lot of application information in general. So we're gonna break that up in two so we don't completely overload you and your students. So that's Road to College 2. And then Road to College 3 is all about paying for college. So again, this actually was a plan we decided last year to break it up in two. Road to College 3 is going to be about paying for college, what the process is for applying for financial aid, scholarships. If you're going to a private school, it's very likely you'll have to fill out something called the CSS profile. So Ms. Hunter and Ms. Martinez will talk through that process. And then at the end of the month, so this is October now, the FAFSA opens up on October 1st. So we bumped this way up. In the past, we've always done this in December. So we're doing this in October so that we can really reach out to the students when everyone's got financial aid on their minds. So for Road to College 3, that B portion, Ms. Hunter is a total whiz on FAFSA. She knows it inside and out. And so she's gonna take attendees through a really deep dive. We're gonna look into doing maybe some breakout sessions and stuff, because normally we would get Chromebooks and we'd have parents come in with their tax documents and we kind of really hands-on walk you through in a workshop. So we're gonna find a way to give you that same information online. So, so that's our goal for that. And these are our dates in October. And then we have some late breaking news. We just found out last night from Ms. Hunter that the OUSD College Fair is going to be on Thursday, September 17th. It's going to be a virtual event. OUSD is still kind of figuring out the format. Normally we have it, I guess it's not really the basement, but normally we have it downstairs and we host it, which is really great because other students from other schools come along with our students to see. Here's just a sample of some of the colleges that are there. So we're going to get more information out to you when we have it. We just had a CMC meeting last night and it sounded like they weren't quite ready to release details. And so that, and then in the spring, so these dates are all TBD. Please let us be able to get back on campus and maybe in the auditorium if we can all be next to each other, maybe. So previous years we had an event that was just college info night for juniors, but sophomores and freshmen are welcome. And we just really talked it through and realized there were so many specific questions that were more for 11th graders, and then some things that 9th and 10th graders should learn early on in their high school experience and journey that they should know about. So here we broke it into two. It's called Planning for Success. So this Planning for Success gives you an idea for juniors to be ready to head into the college application process, some things that they can work on over the summer. And then Planning for Success 2 is kind of an earlier start, maybe giving some kids some ideas about extracurriculars, what they might want to be doing over the summer, let some parents know about. I mean, the cost of college is shocking, but if you're planning and you know about stuff, then just the more information, the better. So, okay, so I'm going to pass it back to Ms. Hunter, who's going to talk about just some of the student programs and support and things that we do. So take it away.
Okay, so we have this college essay reader program. Hillary Zaid, she is the one who leads this. She is a parent, but she kind of brings together parents as well as community volunteers. So it's all a volunteer program, basically. And they are helping students with their college essay program. So they're helping with feedback, how to develop it, kind of giving more, I would say, feedback on like, oh, you shouldn't say this because it asked this question. I don't think you're hitting your mark. So they don't really rewrite their essay, which they should not be doing. So it's really just like a guidance to help. All of the essay reader mentors, they are whether they're journalism, there have been lawyers, they've worked for admissions at Berkeley or St. Mary's. They all have some type of experience, and all of them are very pleasant and different backgrounds and stuff like that. So they can really speak to the children, and they kind of try to pair them up together based on that type of preference, but it's really just open. We have college admission rep visits. Now these are a little complicated because normally we schedule them in all year. They kind of just drop in first period, second period, third. They're not going to be online. So we're actually kind of excited about it. We're just trying to figure out, will kids go to them if they're after hours, or will they actually wake up early? So I think we're actually going to be on a really good track this year with getting more schools. I've had a lot of parents reach out to me and say, hey, my alumni has never come. Well, this year it can come. So if you want to email me and say like, hey, like my student's been there for 4 years and we've never seen Ohio Wesleyan come, send me that information. I will reach out to Ohio Wesleyan, especially if you think your student's going to be another alumni or legacy student or something like that. So really important, but we're going to have tons more. We, the max we've ever had, this is my 6th year, going to be at Tech. And we've had the most, 102 college rep visits come was the most in my year. So we're hoping to get a little bit more than that this year, now that we're online.
Yes, and actually I'm going to just kind of hop in, and maybe before you email Ms. Hunter, and blow up her emails, we actually are creating a process now, because this college rep visits is normally for 11th graders, kind of learning about who should be on their list. It could actually be anyone now. So if you have a motivated 9th or 10th grader, by all means, now that they don't have to get a pass from their teacher to miss part of their class to go see them, have them come. We're going to try and make sure they're scheduled between, maybe advisory or in that after school time frame. And so, so we're actually creating a system later. Like I said, I'm going to put a plug in for CMC here. And so we're going to have an email address. So if you have a school that you recommend, or somebody to schedule, it's going to be collegerepvisits@oaklandtech.com. But we can talk about that later. But we also, I'm just going to put a plug in. You can see the bullet point here. Ms. Hunter has also asked that once we start scheduling these college reps to come, we want it to be synchronous is the term. We want it to be live. So they're actually talking to Oakland Tech students at a particular appointment. And so we're looking for hosts that do not have to be in the college mentoring committee, but people who would be willing, just one per college, to take notes, maybe see what kind of interest we have from our students, if there were any materials that we can post later, so that if a kid couldn't make it, we can still have that information, and also have a sense of whether that was a successful college rep visit. So, so I just wanted to chime in there. Everyone you see here, this is a perfect example. All of the colleges, these guys have all come pretty much every year, I think, and so many more. So we really are hoping to get that going and have that be a robust program.
Definitely.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, thank you for that. So some events that we have done before every year is our college application crunch week. So it's about 2 weeks, or we do it like once a month leading up until the deadlines for college applications. That is going to look different this year. So obviously we can't pull every kid or do it by appointment in the library or the College and Career Center. So we will be hosting it like a webinar style, and then doing one-on-one. So my time will definitely consist of like 30-minute windows with every senior. When it's for like CSU and UC applications, a webinar is easy. Everyone goes through the same process. But when it comes down to those interesting private schools who are asking for this information and that information, those will be one-on-ones. Financial aid crunch week is going to be held the same way. Everyone knows, or should know now, FAFSA opens up October 1st. So you definitely want to get in as soon as possible, but we also know that like the CSU applications open October 1st, like everything opens at the same time. So I can see just how stressful that can get. So just know that it's based on deadline, right? We want to start working on it. You can't even get into the website right now. It doesn't open until October 1st, but people can start working on their financial aid. Scholarship application crunch week is something we hold based on like the application deadlines. So we do not know when that's going to be hosted, but it's going to be multiple weeks since it's all online. So we'll probably push into advisories and stuff like that. But other than that, we're going to make sure that it is defined as that week or so. So it may be expanded to 2-3 weeks because I'll be doing online one-on-one. So, but just know that these are still happening. They will be posted. You will get robocalls, most likely from Mr. Fairley or myself. Community College Week, we're definitely going to still have that. But I think now with the whole COVID situation, the community colleges have realized they need to open up their applications sooner than later, because it was rough this year. So it may not be in April anymore. We may push it back into February. But this is for any senior who may be thinking about transferring, doing a trade, visiting the campus, taking a gap year. All those things happen during Community College Week. So these are for people even that are going to 4 years, students who are going to 4 years, because students who come back home can take college courses at the community college and save a ton of money. Actually could be free for their first year. So with that being said, it's an important week for parents and for seniors, but we do invite juniors to come if they've been considering going to a community college. So next steps for students. So really, honestly, review the Oakland Tech website. And I know Elizabeth's going to chime in on this because we have so many to-dos, but the website has all this information. Like, honestly, it's a lot to kind of pan through, I understand, but some of the emails you'll send me are probably answered on the website. So if you can just chime through the website first and then send an email if you're not finding your answers, it would be really, really amazing. And if you're trying to contact the college access partners, they're online as well. Their email is on there. You can email them and they'll PDF you an application. So if you email me, you might get a 3-day turnaround, versus if you emailed them directly, you could have gotten a 1-day turnaround. So do check the website. The information is there. Elizabeth, did you want to say something before I go into my Zoom?
No, I'll do the next slide.
Okay, so if you, thank you. If you want to set up a Zoom, so seniors will be able to set up a Zoom with me. I do want them to wait. If you're an early decision student or a parent of an early decision student or early action, I know some people might be confused about that, but it's a student who's kind of committed to a school already and wants to apply because they think they have a good chance. If you have a student that's doing that, they need to reach out to me now. I will book them an appointment. I have about 15 for this week already. So if you have a student who needs to meet with me now, please do shoot me an email as soon as possible. Other than that, if you're doing CSU, UC, or any of the regular admissions, they can set up a Zoom meeting after our event that's happening on Tuesday. It's because a lot of people will email me and say, hey, Ms. Hunter, I'm planning on going to Yale, which is fine, but then I'll take a look at their GPA and unfortunately they may not be eligible, right? So I want people to know, our students and our parents to know exactly where they stand on requirements and then come up with a list, because I do not like to be the person that says, unfortunately, or anything like that. So I want people to know what their options are, come with some ideas, and then we can flush out that list or even build upon that list. So it's nice for them to know first and then meet with me, if that's okay.
Sounds good. So just to piggyback on what Ms. Hunter just said, please spend some time going to the Oakland Tech site. We did a deep dive, Ms. Hunter and I and the College Mentoring Committee last year, and basically updated almost everything. So there's a college and career drop-down menu. A lot of your questions will be answered. I see the chat box is blowing up. I don't know if those are questions coming for us. I will see about that, but I'm going to guess that probably a lot of your questions will be answered there. And so, so rather than one by one, why don't you, if you do have questions there, we'll try and follow up with that. Please take a look. And then I think we're doing breakouts later, but I just wanted to put a little plug in for the College Mentoring Committee. Please join us. All right, that's it for me. I will mute myself.
Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna just pop our agenda up here. We are running a little bit behind because we had a lot to talk about. So rather than spend a full 45 minutes on Passport to PTSA, I'm just gonna ask the leads to give a brief, like 1 to 5 sentences on what it is you're doing and what you're looking for. And then we're gonna pop a survey into the chat for folks to indicate their interest in stuff. So I wanna run through these quickly because I'm appreciate that folks, I don't wanna keep folks up all night doing this. So Stacia and Teresa, would you mind kicking it off?
Did you want me still to do a little blurb or no?
Oh, yes, before we go to that, this is important. Nadira, could you talk a little bit about, and it's also relevant to this, about HBCU tours, please? Thank you.
Real quick, my name is Nadira Stills. I've had the honor of being part of this wonderful community for almost 9 years. One of my passions is historically Black college and university tours. And so I actually have one student who just graduated from Southern University who was is a Tech alum, and then a student who just started at North Carolina A&T. And so what we have done over the last 10 years, when I started as a parent, I assisted a staff member, Ms. Dora Hobson, in doing these tours. And so this is a committee. We take students, as a matter of fact, prior to COVID, probably a couple of weeks before COVID hit, we were actually about to leave with 38 students going on a college tour down south. And so, of course, we had to rewind and, luckily be able to give people their funds back. And what last year the PTA did is give us a little bit of extra funds to be able to help some of those students who might want this experience, but their parents, their families need a little support. And so the way it happens is we do 2 tours, and we rotate every other year. One is a deep south, so we start in Atlanta, and then we come out of Texas, and the other we start in the DC metropolitan area, and we come out of Tennessee, and we tour on each tour about 13 colleges. And the reason why a lot of people ask, why do people even do this? Well, a lot of students, just the experience of going to these schools can jumpstart students who maybe might not even see themselves going to college and improving their GPAs and different things like that. And so this year, of course, we're going to have to be creative. So I am a member of the college mentoring committee. So we'll be trying to get some of those reps to come and do virtual visits, because really the way the college tour is set up, I just don't see it being able to happen this year in COVID, because we're on planes. A lot of the campuses are not even, they're just kind of keeping their students there. So they're not bringing people on to see their campuses. And then we're on a bus, just all of these different things. So we're going to have to be creative. So if you're interested in, helping with that process of being creative, then let me know.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it. Stacia and Teresa?
Thank you, Andrea. I'm just going to jump in and say hi, everybody. I am Stacia. I am the head of fundraising for the annual fund this year. So at some point, you're going to hear some communication from me. The big thing to remind you guys, if you are able and positioned to donate, to make sure you get asked for employer match, just because we want to milk all we can out of the companies out there able to support us. I think our bigger challenge, though, is going to be in our auction, or what it's going to look like this year. So I am actually going to hand it over to Teresa, who is the saint who has stepped up to run that this year.
Hi, I'm Teresa Tauchi, and I am chairing this year's auction. And I think it already got mentioned during the budget conversation, but our goal is to raise about $55,000, which is less than half of what we raised last year. So we're really trying to adjust to the new reality. Everything will be done online. I'm not going to go over the details because I know that we're pressed on time, but what obviously, as Nadira just said, we're looking for creativity, we're looking for ideas, we're looking for ways to engage the parent community to come and financially support the school. So I believe that Stacia or Andrea is going to send around a survey. So anybody who has experience with fundraising, with putting on virtual events, soliciting donations, and just being creative in general, we could really, really use your ideas this year. So please fill out the survey, and I will be in contact sometime, likely next month, to start a kickoff meeting. So that's it for me.
Super. So next up is Jessica Gray and I. Jessica is the VP of Programs, and we're going to talk about parent engagement, which is sort of everything. But Jessica, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure. Hello, everyone. So I just took on this role this year. We are looking for parent engagement across multiple domains. So you'll hear about several committees tonight that people are heading up, in addition to several affinity groups that are starting this year. And then we have monthly PTA meetings. So one of the things that we would love for everyone to do is fill out this Google form that I've just put into the chat box. I'll also put it in the Google group online, and in the bullhorn, so that we can solicit ideas in terms of what people are interested in terms of topics for PTA meetings, because we really want to make sure that people that we are hitting on topics that people are interested in. So like COVID and academics, COVID and mental health. As people know, it's a very unusual year. So we'd love to get your feedback on that. And then there are several committees that people can join, or working groups. So we've heard a lot about the college one tonight, but there are also many others. So there's an advocacy group, a performing arts group. There's the development group that we were just talking about, communications. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jessica, so some of those folks are going to talk today, and one that I want to jump in on is the advocacy group. They're not going to be able to present today. Advocacy is everything from, writing to our school board members to writing to Governor Newsom. It's mobilizing people on behalf of education and other issues that affect our community. We are going to be doing some targeted stuff. We can't do endorsements or political campaigns, but we can let you know what the issues are and ask people to get involved. And obviously there'll be a lot of opportunities on that this fall in particular. So why don't we move on to some other areas, just in the interest of time. So who do I have next? Communications, Michelle and Miss Arnaldi. Can you talk about communications?
Sure. My name is Michelle Quinn, and I'm the Vice President of Communications on the PTSA board. And I just want to thank everybody who's on here for everything you're doing to help get information, share information, particularly on the groups IO, where a lot of information is shared. People are pointing to the website where we try to post information. And that's about it. We've got a group of people who have volunteered to help out, and we need advice and help, and it's just kind of a big team to help keep everybody communicating and find out more information. So I'm going to put in the sign up for the Bullhorn, you're on Groups IO, that you're checking the website. And then there's other things that we're talking about doing. And then I'm going to pass it on to Miss Arnaldi, who is a teacher and also working on communications this year.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tech, or welcome back to Oakland Tech. So I'm Jacqueline Arnaldi. I teach Spanish, and this year I'm teaching Spanish and also serving as a teacher liaison to the college and career and communications. And I am super excited. Working with Ms. Hunter and Mr. Holliday, an amazing, amazing team if you haven't worked with them yet. And then working with the PTSA and the school on pretty much keep strengthening our lines of communication, which couldn't be more important in this time that we aren't in the school. I just wanted to highlight, in addition to what Michelle has already said, the Instagram, the crazy social media. If you don't have Instagram, I almost would encourage you to get on it just to follow the tech community. There is so much happening, and honestly, it's growing every day because of the situation we're in right now. The main one is one I started a few years ago called OTHS Connections. I think we got it on the website. We got it, I think we're dropping it in the chat. We work really hard to get tons of information out that way. And the reason I started Instagram and got myself on Instagram was solely for connecting with students. I got super frustrated that they said, I don't look at the website, I don't read emails, I don't look at the hallway posters. So I said, what do you do? How can I get you this information? And it's really grown. And now we have, most academies have a page. the ninth grade houses are now creating pages. Clubs have tons of pages, which we're reposting, which is really important right now because otherwise students don't know when these clubs are meeting virtually. So long story short, I highly encourage you to jump on there and encourage your students to. And if you want to connect to other tech accounts, the best way is to go to OTHS Connections and look who I'm following. And that pretty much is probably every tech account I can find. And we're not doing the personal students accounts, and I don't follow them back. It's none of that. It's just trying to get the information from the clubs and the different things. And the last piece I'll talk about is You Meet the World. It's not specifically tech, but it is where we try to share opportunities related to college and scholarships and internships all over the Bay Area. And I've lived in a lot of places and I've never seen anything like the Bay Area for opportunities for youth. So You Meet the World is not tech specific, it's for the whole Bay Area, but amazing opportunities there. And the last piece I want to talk about as a teacher, we're all navigating this together. I've taught 20 years and I got to tell you, I've never had a crazier, I think for us now, it's about 2.5 weeks. So we're working hard, I promise. I know it's frustrating in a lot of ways, but for communication, for student to teacher, make sure your student is looking out for emails, looking out for Google Classroom, and more teachers, we're trying to get them to use Remind, which is like a messaging app. And for parents, obviously there's email, but we are working hard to try to get more teachers to use talking points. And very quickly, sorry, Andrea, I know it's time. Talking points is a new program that the district is using. And Andrea and others and I worked hard to get the district to try to adopt it for school-wide. The beauty of talking points is it communicates with parents, it pulls your information straight from Aries, so teachers don't even have to go get it, and it pulls your language. And so for so many families who we can't reach usually, it's going to automatically translate our messages school-wide and teacher individually, and it acts like kind of like a texting, but it's not using your real names. It lets teachers do individual or group, just like Remind for students. So anyways, all the ways we're working on the communications, and you see anything related to student opportunities, please send them my way.
Thank you both. Mr. Vetter, do you mind saying a word about Ride for a Reason?
I would love to say a word about Ride for a Reason. Thank you very much for giving me a couple of seconds to do this. Ride for a Reason, and I'm so gratified that this is a really big PTA meeting, and I hope people are still tuned in. Ride for a Reason is an annual springtime event. To date, Ride for a Reason over the last 12 years has raised $1.2 million for Oakland schools. We started back in 2009 with 4 riders, and in 2019 we had almost 400 riders. Our mission is to highlight the problem that California public schools just need more money. So we raise funds, we make political pressure, we build community, we have fun, we get fit. We benefit 11 public schools in OUSD. Last year we also added the school, Encinal Junior Senior High School over on Alameda Island. Obviously, everything is going to look a lot different this year because of COVID. So 2021's Ride for a Reason is going to be a virtual ride. We believe that we can still raise some money, make some noise, apply political pressure, and still have some fun. The other interesting opportunity is we're going to broaden this out. So if you don't ride a bike, if you're not down for riding a whole long way, maybe you're a jogger, maybe you do yoga, maybe you're a big power walker, maybe you do Zumba or something. We're going to allow people to do all kinds of activities and raise funds and join us that way. Okay, I just uploaded a flyer. So there's a virtual Ride for a Reason flyer just in the chat. Please grab that. If you're interested, if this sounds like something that would be fun, grab the flyer, contact me. My email address is right there in the flyer. We're having a Zoom meeting next Monday on the 24th. So if you feel like you'd like to be involved in this, come join us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Look, you came dressed in your, it's awesome. That's great. So the next thing we're going to talk about is affinity groups. This is something we have had African American Action, African American Student Action Planners, which is a program that has been, it's not a program, it's a group of parents who get together to talk about student issues affecting African American families and work together to create programs for students. And we need more leadership there. Janelle McBride, who talked earlier about restorative justice, she's a parent and a staff member, and she has been instrumental with Ms. Hunter in supporting ASAP, but they are looking for additional parents to help step up and take leadership. An affinity group, so we'd like to start other groups like this, groups of parents who want to get to know each other and work in community with other families from similar backgrounds. So for example, we have one starting up for LGBTQ parents. We have a woman who is interested in pulling together parents of children on the autism spectrum, and then another one that you may have noticed in the chat, and I'd like to just ask Ms. DeBose to talk a little more about the special ed group. You still with us?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Yes, hi everyone. I just wanted to say I'm happy to see the interest in the SPED committee. Our goal right now, we're still trying to figure that out, but we have about 10 people who've already showed their interest in wanting to be on this committee, and 2 of them are teachers. So our goal is to reach out to everyone so that we can start a committee meeting and find out what our needs are and what our goals are for this new school year, which is going to be challenging to say the least. But our goal is to find out what we need for our kids so that they can have a good school year. And so that is my hope and prayer, that we can meet possibly at the end of every month or something like that. We haven't figured that out yet, but if you have any ideas, those who want to be on this committee, we'd love to hear from you. I think they've been emailing the PTSA, and they've been forwarding me your email, and then we'll reach out to you and we can decide where we go from there.
Thank you so much. I just noted I would really love it if other parents would like to find, their community, please let us know and we're happy to support. Right now, that may mean we help provide technical support for you to host meetings. And when we can finally meet and break bread again, it may mean that we support you in holding those meetings. And we typically have had what we call a hospitality budget so that we can support family parent meetings of that kind. Great, thank you so much, Tandra. Next up, performing arts. Susie and Abby, or Susie, are you here? Hope you're still here.
Yes, I'm still here. Sorry.
That's okay.
my site was a little bit covered. Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Susie Hovland. I am a parent and I support the performing arts. The performing arts department as a whole. I maintain the performing arts website, and I also upload performances up to the YouTube channel. At the moment, I am in conversation with all the teachers to find out exactly what they want to do and how they want to do their courses, and what the kids are really looking forward to doing and putting together. Typically, we do a lot of performances. That's our bread and butter, and that's also how we raise some of our money. Unfortunately, that is now completely cut off from us. So part of our task is to figure out how we're going to raise money for the performing arts. In general, we just there are four teachers actually. Miss Anna Dallas and that heads the theater group. Miss Sonia Travick that does dance. Casey Fern, who does techies and what the techies are going to do, and he's an offshoot of the theater group with Anna Dallas. And then there's a new music teacher, John Harrington. So it's quite a baptism by fire for him. What I've been doing is I've been receiving notification from Elizabeth of parents that are interested in becoming and supporting the performing arts in some ways or fashion. I normally contact them with an introduction, and we're hoping to put together a committee soon. We have about a total of about 7 or 8 members at the moment, but if you want to come and support us, that's always that's always welcome. Just reply to my email once I get I know who you are, and we'll try and make sure that we support our performing arts. The performing arts have been very, very strong at Tech. They've gone through periods of transition in the past couple of years, but they're starting to come back strong, and we want to make them the the strong department that they've always been, and the completion and the roundness of education that all the students at Tech can get.
Thank you, Susie. Elizabeth Faulkner, do you want to say one more anything else about College Mentoring Committee? Oops. Elizabeth? I think you're on mute. Elizabeth? Yeah, you're on mute. Elizabeth?
Sorry,
You're on mute.
Sorry. So we do have a great committee. You heard me talk about it before, but I wanted to get really specific and get real with y'all because we do have an event coming up a week from tonight. We have a fantastic committee, but one thing that we're specifically looking for, if you see at the bottom here, these are all the great things that we do. But we do need somebody with Zoom webinar expertise. We did something a little bit different. We did a pre-recorded event for Planning for Success. And we're looking for somebody who might have expertise to do it next week. So if you could get in touch with me, cmc@oaklandtech.com. I'll put this link in the chat box, but it's kind of a sign up form to be able to let us know what you're interested in. We could always use more members of the College Mentoring Committee.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That is all of our different committees. It's not even all of our committees. We have others. We have a beautification committee that is led by a parent who's committed to making sure the grounds are kept neat. We have an excellent grounds crew, but it's nice to have for us to help follow behind and help keep things nice. Not sure when we're going to be allowed on campus, so not sure when we can do that, but if you're interested in that, please let us know. Some other announcements, as you heard, Road to College 1 is on the 25th. Our next general meeting will be on September 15th. We're going to do the Collaborative School Site Council election at that meeting. So if you're interested in that, please let Mr. Fairley know. The virtual college fair is on September 17th. And then on graduation has been confirmed for May 26th, 2021. God willing, we will be able to meet in person. And then finally, I want to leave everyone on a cool note that I think is really awesome. We have a senior who you guys may have read about or heard about. He has been in The Athletic. He has been on KTVU. This student is a senior at Tech, Ahmed Mohammed, and he builds science kits for kids because he wants other Black kids to get excited about science the way he has, and he's builds these kits for kids with his friends who are also seniors, and he's raising money to make more for a school here in Oakland that has 97% free and reduced lunch. So I put his GoFundMe in the chat, and I really encourage you to find out more about Ahmed and the work he's doing. It's he's a great kid. He's also a star basketball player and has used his summer off to find ways to bring science to other children. So with that, I'm sure everyone is pretty worn out by the fire hose of information. And I would like to invite a motion to adjourn the meeting unless
So
someone has some
moved.
other new. Okay, thank you. Any second?
Greg Calava seconds.
Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? No, the way you can vote for this is by leaving the meeting. Please feel free to email me at president@oaklandtech.com. We're going to post. Huh?
Sorry, Andrea. Who was first?
Who was
Nadira,
first?
Nadira Stills.
Nadira Stills made the
Thank you.
motion. Greg Calava seconded it. And people are going to vote on it by leaving. Please check the IO group for all of the attachments and other information. We have a link we're going to be posting for Mr. Fairley's coffee house shortly. So thank you all for coming, and I hope I see you soon. Take care.
So long.
Bye.
All right, thank you.